Hi everyone, sorry we're running a little bit late. Hopefully you'll stick in with us. So welcome to Sky Betting and Gaming's live Q&A event for our trading operations placement. I'm Jade, the talent delivery partner for trading, customer operations and safer gambling. For those of you who aren't too sure what Sky Bet is all about, we are one of the UK's leading betting and online gaming businesses with offices in Leeds and Sheffield, as well as Solihull too. We have various products such as Sky Bet, Sky Vegas, Sky Poker, Sky Bingo, and some free-to-play games like Super 6, plus many more. If after today you'd like to learn even more about us and what it's like working at Sky Betting and Gaming, please take a look at our podcast series on the career site. So just some housekeeping before I introduce today's speakers. We would like this to be an interactive session, so we encourage you to ask questions. At the end of the session, I will try and read as many of these as I can. To be able to ask a question, you'll have to be signed into your YouTube account and then add your question to the comments section. This session is recorded, so don't worry if you miss some, you'll be able to watch it back at a later date. Hopefully there'll not be any technical issues. We've already had one, so fingers crossed no more, but this is live, so do not panic. We'll try our best for it to run as smoothly as possible. So joining me for today's live event, we've got John Davison and Beth Evans. So to introduce you all to everyone who's listening, it's probably best to start with what you do. John, if you want to get the ball rolling, tell me what you do, how long you've been with the business. Go on.
Lovely, thank you. So hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Sorry we are a bit delayed, a few technical issues, but we're here now anyway, so thanks again for joining us. I'm the trading operations manager, so I'll be heavily involved in the recruitment process and look forward to hopefully chatting to some of you who apply. I've been with the business since 2015. I've worked in various roles within Sky Bet. But joined trading operations about 3 years ago now, and yeah, I've loved every minute.
And Beth, what's your role at SBG?
Hi everyone, I'm an in-play football trader now. I moved over from trading operations after I completed Displacement as I went into my third year of uni. So I've been here about a year and a half now, and yeah, I'm absolutely loving it.
And what was it that initially attracted you to want to join us?
I think it was the concept of being around sport all the time, being able to engage with it like every day. Like when you go into work, it's so much more enjoyable when you're doing something that you're actually interested in. And obviously, looking at how amazing the company's rated, pairing them things together, it was easy to apply.
Okay, so there'll be a few people watching today who are completely new to our industry. I know when I was at uni, looking at industries, probably hadn't really thought of Sky Betting and Gaming as a company and an industry to join. So, John, it might be helpful just to tell everyone what trading actually do. What is this part of the business?
Yeah, absolutely. So before I answer, I'll just say anyone who is new to the industry or is wondering sort of what a trading environment is like, I'd urge you not to be intimidated. It's really friendly, really welcoming. It's easy to pick up, much easier than you may think. There is a lot to learn, but it's all exciting and really sort of methodical how you go about it. So it's a really good industry to get into. As a whole, trading provide everything that you see on the Sky Bet website, really. All the betting opportunities, you name it, price boosts, request a bet, even just your basic full-time markets, over-under goals, that sort of thing. The vast majority of those are priced up in-house, either via one of our models that we use, which again are easy to learn, but they do provide thousands and thousands of markets weekly, or via old school. Occasionally somebody sat chatting to their colleagues, what do you think this price should be? How much chance do you give this guy to hold this put? So there's a variety of methods to get everything on site, but yeah, as a whole, trading just provide everything that you see on the Sky Bet website.
Yeah, perfect. So all the odds there that you see and that you can bet on, fabulous. So I guess as well, John, what does that trading team structure look like? So it's a pretty big team, isn't it?
Yeah, the trading department as a whole is massive. We've got around 100 people in there now, separated out into your various teams. So you've got your football team and you've got your football live team. You've got your horse racing team, your sports team. We've got various other teams within that as well. So we've got the risk team that look after all the bets coming through and monitoring what people are placing bets on. We've got the trading operations team, which you guys are obviously interested in applying for. We're like the heartbeat of the whole operation, connecting all the other teams together. So each of those teams have a number of employees, a number of execs above those, or a number of supervisors. Then you have the management layer, and then each team has a head of department, and those guys look after the full piece.
Perfect. So I guess trading operations, let's go into a bit more detail around this, because that's where the placement will be sat. So what does trading operations really do, and who are they working closely with on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so like I just said, that we have been referred to as the heartbeat within the trading department. So the number one focus of the trading operations team is just to ensure that the customer journey is absolutely as smooth as possible. So whatever you may think that entails, it essentially is that, whether it be ensuring that prices are accurate on the website, whether something's easy to find, whether we've got a relevant rule for that market that's understandable for the customer, ensuring that streams are linked. So when you click on an event, you can watch a video of the match or game, whatever it may be. Ensuring that everything is there on the website. So if you want to bet on Leeds this weekend, actually making sure that Leeds are available to bet on. So we've got a number of things that we do specifically just to make sure that customer journey is really smooth. On top of that, any issues, website going down, third parties having issues, if events are suspended for a long time so customers can't actually get a bet on, it's up to our team to resolve those and ensure that all the relevant teams are contacted, the customer service team are aware of what's going on and how long it'll be until it's fixed. And in addition to that, like I just mentioned, the customer service team, they speak to us directly every day, 50 to 100 times a day, week, just to ask us questions about events on site, if there's an issue with settlement, if somebody's just got a problem with a market that they're not sure about. So we really do deal with every single team within trading, and that's why this opportunity is a really good one. If you've any interest whatsoever in trading, it's the perfect place to start as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely. Sounds busy. Beth, as someone who has completed the placement, you would be the perfect person to answer this question. So what support or training did you get when you first joined? What did that look like?
Yeah, I think JD ran through some of the things that we deal with, but I don't think anyone would be expected to know how to deal with third-party issues upon going into the placement. The first month and a half, I was always paired with someone upon my shifts, to start with, just to go through processes, seeing how to learn things, but also sitting with other teams. So I sat around all the teams that JD mentioned. I had 2-hour sessions with them all just to see how their piece of the puzzle links to what we do at Trading Ops. I think that was really important, because it's very easy to just learn a job, but it was good to go around the business and also see which other aspects you're interested in as well within the trading team. So the training that you get on ops is probably unmatched in a way, because you have to know about every other team effectively. So you get the chance to do that. So yeah, really good.
And could you talk us through what a typical day looks like in your role within Trading Ops as a placement student? So maybe touch on shift patterns and key kind of tasks you'd be given.
Yeah, so there's different shifts you can get. I think they're rotated 4 weeks in advance and stuff like that. So you can always see what's coming up. But a typical day, say you were doing, an 8-4 or something, you come in. I usually get a meal deal on the way in, probably. And then I would sit down and just go through my emails, just make sure everything, like any other role. And then I would look on Slack, make sure there's no customer queries that need answering. I feel like they're the most pressing issues, because obviously, as JD said, you want to make the customer journey as smooth as possible. So if you're leaving customers waiting hours upon hours to get things sorted, it's not a very good journey. So that would be the first thing I do. And then I'd move on to my task for the day, which could involve planning for the next day, such as deciding who's doing what the next day. Streaming, which JD mentioned, I'd sort all that out. Display orders, making sure everything's in the correct order on site, just to make, as JD said, with leads, if leads are at the very bottom of the page, people having to scroll for ages to find one of the most popular games, it's not a very good way of setting up the site. So that would be another thing we look at, is just making sure that the things that people want are the most accessible to make things easier for them. Other things I do all settlement. So if I go into see what games are on during the day, many people don't think there is a lot of football on in the day, but there is still football on, and it still does need to be resulted for the customer. So that is something that we do just to make sure the day goes as smooth as possible.
Perfect. I love how the meal deal took such a key part of that start.
That's crucial. Part of the day.
The other thing you mentioned was Slack, which is one of those things that a lot of people, might not be familiar with. So just for anyone watching, Slack is an internal messenger that we use across the business. Instant messaging, a bit like MSN, I guess, back in the day, but it's really good, especially with working from home. It just keeps everyone, in the loop, chatting away to each other. And it's, it's better than just sending emails because it's a lot quicker. Okay. So Beth, I guess on this placement, it's a year-long placement. How would you say it changed? 6 months into the placement, did it evolve your position on the placement scheme?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you get more confident in so those tasks that you come in to do in the morning, you get quicker at, you get more experienced, you see things and you already know what the answer is, opposed to, I remember when I used to come in quite a lot and JD would be on that early shift with me, and I would ask JD quite a lot, oh, what do you think of this? Like, what do you make of that? Whereas as you get 6 months in, you're very confident in your own answers, and you know because you've seen it before. So the day can go pass you by a lot quicker because then you've done all your tasks quite early on, and about that time you probably get your own sort of project to look at, and you get to have a few more hours by yourself to look at other stuff you're interested in within the business. And it means that I think 6 months in you're like trying to learn different areas of the team a bit more. So I think 6 months in I probably got a bit closer to the in-play team, because I was probably speaking to them a bit more, as opposed to going through different communications. I'd just go directly to them myself and ask them a question, as opposed to going through my manager oh, would you just mind checking in? I feel like you get a bit more confident and you get a bit more well known around the business. Yeah,
definitely. So you mentioned projects there. What was your project that you worked on?
Yeah, I had a project. My project was looking after the bigger customers around the business. So just making sure that we had the correct things that they wanted, and reporting them back to managers if there was any concerns or any problems that they had. But also our other placement student, Max, who's back at uni now, he was looking at feedback reports, making sure that the feedback that was, if any was given via the app, that they were looked into correctly and not just disregarded, because they can be very easy to just look over. But we used to get through an email and he would look through them, and there'd be some really, really valuable feedback there that helped catapult the business a bit more.
Yeah. And does whilst you're in the trading operations team, when you first start, I guess to other places, do you ever get to go and start working in another part of trading to explore that rather than
as I said, that early training you get can ignite interest as well. Like when I went to pre-match, you can see what they do and you can see whether you envisaged yourself there. And when I went to in-play, when I initially sat down with them, I was like, oh, there's no way I could ever see myself doing this. This just looks too much. But when you're then 6 months into your ops placement, you can see yourself in different teams because you're so much more aware of what goes on inside the business. And I think JD mentioned a really good point that it can look intimidating because it looks like, oh, trading is very closed door and everyone knows everything about everything, but it's so welcoming, and they really get taught on the job what it is that you need to do. And some of the things that I've know now wouldn't have ever been expected to know upon coming into the job or the role. It's just more having the desire to apply yourself to learning new roles and new systems. And if you have that desire, then you'll succeed in this placement without a shadow of a doubt.
Brilliant. What would you, John, what would you say are the main challenges within a role within the trading operations team? So the main challenges a placement student might find?
Yeah, so I think the role itself in trading ops, like Beth alluded to there, is about how much you care. Really, it's not necessarily what you know; it's just how much you care about giving the customer the right experience. So I would say that the main challenges that come with that is it's a time pressure job. You can be dealing with multiple things at the same time. You could have a question come from our customer service team at the same time that you're resulting the Premier League match, which has just finished, and you're expected to handle both of those at the same time. God forbid the website's having issues as well, or settlement slow. So
Yeah.
the work can pile up, and it's about just being able to keep a cool head, handling things one at a time, delegating work to your colleagues and asking for help when you need it. But yeah, I think the role itself, we've got a really good team who are all keen to help each other out. None of these challenges, you won't be able to overcome them. You'll always be able to succeed in the role. It's just about every day understanding that you don't know what's going to happen and attacking it really when it comes your way.
Yeah, I think you've got to be able to adapt to change in our business, haven't you?
Yeah.
And take it how it is. It's fun and exciting, but yeah, it's an ever-changing environment, which is great. So Beth, what do you think people can look forward to on our placement? What did you most enjoy?
I think just being around sport all the time. Like, I guess it depends what type of person you are, but um, JD said there that you're balancing quite a lot of different things at once, Premier League settlement, this, that, the other. But when you're enjoying them things, I don't think it comes across as, oh, this is a chore, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. It's enjoyable, and the team that are on the desk or on the row it's just such a nice place to be. Like, everyone's so supportive, and like, you do have a laugh and a joke at the same time. But also when it comes down to 3 p.m, like, everyone like help out, it's so serious and everyone gets down to their roles and what they need to do. And yeah, that's the thing I like the most. I think the team, also the surrounding teams as well. I never really spoke to racing that much because I think I sat with them a few days and then came onto my team, but they're just behind us, and you get to know absolutely everyone just based on like walking around, like in the kitchen, getting a drink. You just end up speaking to everyone, and the whole feel of the business is just so like welcoming, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, perfect. Especially like being a student coming into like maybe for some people it might be their first type of formal employment. So I think our environment probably is one of those ones where you actually feel, oh, okay, this isn't scary. It's very welcoming. I totally agree with that. So I guess for someone making an application, what transferable skills do you think we'll look for that will enable an individual to be successful in the placement? I guess this is for both of you.
Beth, do you want to go first, or shall I?
Yeah, I guess as we were talking about, I think time management is like a big skill. Like, there will be times when you think that, oh, I've got to do this right now, I've got to do this right now, but being able to, it happens with experience as well, which is something that I've got a lot better at. But initially, it was definitely something that was expected of me, was just to be able to decide and like make critical decisions. Okay, I'm going to do that instead of this because I thought that would be a better idea. Being able to act well under pressure, but also really good communication skills. You're going to be dealing with a lot of teams, as JD was saying, in play, pre-live football, the CX team, sorry, the customer experience team. You're going to be expected to deal with them, and sometimes you won't have time to type out, oh, hi, how are you? You just need to give across critical information and be a really good like passer on of information effectively, just to make sure people get the information they need. What else would I say is important? I would say being motivated to improve yourself, if that makes sense. Like, when I came into the role, I always wanted to succeed, but I think as you get more into the role, you realise that you want to be like the best, if that makes sense. I always wanted to be like, have better settlement times, or make less errors, or be the better one. Like, it's not a competition, but I think you've got to have that sort of mindset to fit into this business, because it's a competitive business, and the way Sky Bet is now is because that so many people have the mindset of wanting to do more and wanting to achieve more. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's good. John, what about you? Anything else?
I should have gone first, shouldn't I, really, there? Beth,
No.
ticks all the boxes. Yeah, the two things I'd say to anyone watching is firstly, don't worry if you're not an Excel or an Office suite master. That's not something that is necessary to work in trading. You'd be surprised at what you can learn. So transferable skills for me, Beth really did cover them, but the ones I noted down were to be hardworking, able to work alone if needed. There is alone time really on shift at times, whether it be a few hours here or there. So you need to have the confidence to be willing to work alone without anyone there to guide you after you've been trained, of course. Within a team, delegating tasks, sharing information, working together. And the most important too, which Beth had in abundance, and that's why she was so amazing in the team, just a positive attitude and a desire to learn. Those are really the key too. If you come into the business with a positive attitude and you really want to pick things up, you'll have a fantastic year.
Yeah, fab. No, that's it. What about as well? This is my question, I think, because how important is it that that person knows everything about sport? Because this is an operational placement more so than perhaps being sat in one of the other trading teams, which it does require a lot of kind of knowledge about football or racing, but this one I guess is more operational. So how important is it that they really understand sports and all the sports?
Yeah, I think to be completely honest, it would help if you have an interest in sport, because naturally that will give you the sort of the desire to succeed at the role. But we have had people. We had an intern 2 years ago, Katie, who came into the business and she didn't know barely anything about sport. But what she did have is what I just said. She had a positive attitude, and she would sit there with a notepad, a diary, and it had every baseball rule going. And she just made notes as she was on shift and was watching the events on the television and settling the events, and just things that you need to, that she needed to learn as she went along. So it's not critical. Like any industry, it helps if you've got that knowledge and that interest, but you can absolutely pick everything you need to while you're in the position.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So I guess a lot of people will want to know what it's like working at Sky Betting and Gaming. John, you've been with the business for quite some time, so maybe talk about your progression and what you enjoy most about working at SBG.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I worked at Sky Betting and Gaming, I worked at William Hill, another bookmaker based in Leeds as well, and I worked there for 7 years. And during that time, progression was limited, really, I would say. I felt like I was doing a good job, but I wasn't being pushed. I wasn't given additional responsibilities, and eventually an opportunity came up to join Sky Bet. So I did in 2015. I joined the Knights fraud and risk team at the time. Just a slight change of career, but still in the betting industry. And I loved my time there. I was really valued. Within 6 months, they offered me a promotion, but at the same time, a job opportunity came up in the sports trading team. And my background was in trading, and I did miss it. So I took that position. I was in the sports team on nights still for about a year, and then Phil, who's my manager, there was a job opportunity that came up in the trading operations team. So I joined trading ops about 3 years ago now as a supervisor. And it was probably the best decision I've ever made, to be honest, career-wise. From day one, the team is so welcoming. Everyone wants you to succeed. Everyone's willing to share knowledge with you, and it's such an influential department. We're involved with so many different teams, so much going on each day, and because of that, the progression is there. Just because you're here for a year doesn't mean that you can't secure yourself a career with Sky Betting and Gaming, for the future. We've had people like Beth, for instance, who's finished her placement, has come back and doing part-time. If there's a role for Beth that she likes, she would absolutely have it. So if you come to the company and put your best foot forward, you'll have a really good time. It's a fantastic place to work. Really, really, really good perks, really good colleagues, and yeah, I really do love working here.
Brilliant. So Beth, after your placement, what did you decide was next for you? Why have you decided to stay?
Yeah, I remember there was initial conversations around when my placement was finishing as well. I got my placement extended for a couple of months as well because I wasn't starting uni for a bit, and I just like didn't really want to leave in a way. I was just like, oh, can I stay a bit longer? And I was able to. And then uni was starting up, and I still wanted to be here, and I really dealt with the in-play team kind of a lot on my placement, and yeah, it fitted really, really well with my uni hours as well. Being able to balance stuff out, like it's more weekend work, which works perfectly for me, and they're so flexible with my uni timetable as well. So yeah, I just really wanted to stay in and around the business. Like I felt I had so much knowledge gained on my year that I just didn't really want to let it go. Like I wanted to stay in and about, and I think I would have missed the team a lot as well. Like there's always really good laughs and stuff, and yeah, it's such a nice place to be, and you do feel like I feel like as soon as you come in, you do feel like you're wanted and accepted. Like they just everyone's really appreciative of all the work that you do, and yeah, I really wanted to stay, so I was happy to be able to do that.
Brilliant. And how does in-play differ to what you were doing before?
So in-play I'm trading actual football games, so it's more of pricing and making sure that I'm responsible for covering the events basically, whereas ops are probably more responsible for just making sure that everything looks okay with them events. If I was to make any errors, hopefully not many, JD's team would be sorting it now, so ops would be sorting it. But I think the knowledge you gain in ops is what's led me to get sort of a role in play. It's such a knowledge-worthy team where by the end of it anyway, sort of everything there is to know because you've been across so many different things and dealt with so many different things. So it means you can excel in any role. I would say after that, you could go into any department, and if you have a knowledge of ops, you've probably seen something in some part of an area before, I would say.
Yeah, so it definitely set you up for a really good part-time role. Brilliant.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, and what would you both say are the main perks of working at SBG? What do you particularly enjoy or like?
For me, the perks I've never known anything like it anywhere else I've worked. I mean, if you think about the main one, the Free Sky television itself is absolutely fantastic. To be honest with you, that was up straight away. Internet package comes with it. And other things for me personally, such as parking in the city centre, free parking that would normally be £10 to £15 a day that you're saving beneath the building when it's snowing outside and you can just walk inside without getting a snowflake on you. The environment inside the office, the free fruit every day, the drinks machines. I could barely walk past the meeting hall without seeing free cakes or biscuits or cans of pop that have been left there. Whenever there's anything major going on, a major event, you don't even have to leave your desk for the day. You're basically fed at your desk, and you're really, really well looked after perk-wise. I think. I don't know if you've got any more to add, Beth.
Yeah, probably you get free gym membership as well. That's a good one. Because you get to choose between a couple of gyms as well, so that's always useful. And then what else would I add? I'd add I never got to experience a Champions League final, but I've heard lots of rumours that that's very good. But we did get to do Cheltenham, and that was really fun in the office. But I think as well, one of the perks that I would say is just the trading team. I'd say as a whole, we have trading quarterlies, and everything's just so much more you have that downtime with the same team as well. It's not all guns blazing business. You get that. You get to form actual friendships and relationships and stuff as well within the teams. And yeah, I'd say that's a huge perk. I think some of my friends who also went on placement didn't really have that out of office friendship or could have a laugh with their colleagues. Whereas I feel the business is so young as well. There's so many people effectively your age as well in the office that it's so young and modern that you could make friends with anyone in there, if that makes sense. It's just pretty good.
What would you say your favourite days are when you're trading? What are the funnest days that you've experienced so far, both of you?
Do you want to go first, JD?
For
Or?
me, it would be Boxing Day. Oh, sorry, Beth. I've already gone now. Boxing Day for me. The busiest day of the year. Everyone's in good spirits. Everyone's got the Christmas jumps on. Not the same, obviously, working from home, but generally, yeah, Boxing Day for me is the busiest days are always the best. Everyone's in. Everyone's going to do a good job. You can't move, free food, and it's always a rewarding day. The busiest ones. So yeah, Boxing Day for me.
What about you, Beth?
Yeah, I'd say the same. The busiest nights are the good nights. Like Champions League midweek is always fun because I used to always get myself a takeaway. But
it revolves around the food that both of you two have got or bought.
But also, like, you could just have it on, like you're watching the games, flicking through them. It's all good. And then Saturdays as well. So any sort of busy day, I think, is usually my preferred day. I just love like how everyone's like, oh, can we grab this? Can we do that? Like, it's just a really nice environment, and reminds you like why you really like to be there.
Yeah, it's got a good buzz. Yeah, brilliant. And then just last one for you two, until we go through a few more questions from people watching. How do you think, for someone coming into the business, how do you think they can get themselves quickly embedded into kind of SPG life and making those relationships?
Go on, Beth.
I'd say, like, I think on the training sessions that I've had, just like speaking to the people you sit with, I know I can remember who I sat with on every one of them days, because I think you just sit and you chat. Like, of course they show you what they're doing, but then they're like, oh, like, so when did you join? What are you up to? Like, how are you finding things? I think as well the people make it a lot easier. So I think you just got to have a bit of like confidence about yourself that whoever gets these placements, by the way, you've got the placement, you've beat the rest. Just have fun and enjoy yourself, because there's so many things that you can do on this placement that you wouldn't get in many other businesses. You can go wherever you want in the business if you want to on this placement. It's a really good one.
Brilliant. Okay. What about you, JD? Anything else?
No, Beth covered it well. Really, you won't be on your own until you have the confidence to be on your own. We don't just say it's 2 weeks training and that's it, off you go, good luck. You're with someone until you're ready, essentially. You'll be bombarded with meetings welcoming you to various departments and people. You'll get loads and loads of those over your first few weeks, so you'll get to sort of see how the business operates and who are the sort of key stakeholders within the business. So you'll get to meet everyone. And the heads of the department are the most friendly and welcoming people you're likely to meet. They'll stop by if they see a new face and introduce themselves. You don't really have to sort of make the first move. They'll come and say hi to you, and yeah, you get to feel really welcome really quickly.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So just one thing I'll cover off before we go to the viewers' kind of questions is just about the recruitment process. So hopefully we've won you over. Sky Betting and Gaming is the placement you want. If it is, you can make an application from today. The application window will be open from today, so the advert will be live this afternoon. What we'll do is put a link to this on the advert as well, just in case you did miss any. In terms of the application process, what you'll do is you'll submit your CV, answer a few questions, and then it'll be a case of attending an assessment centre in a couple of weeks' time. I'd say get your application in as soon as possible, just because, you know, placements are competitive, and it'll show that you're keen. So definitely get that in quickly. And then it would be a case of you starting. We'd like someone to start summertime, but I guess it'll depend on when you finish university term and if people are having graduations. So a few questions just that have come from some viewers. So one of the questions, so John, Beth, just take it in turns. Will this placement be based in Leeds?
Yes. But I suppose with the situation that we're in currently, it may be based from your bedroom or from your living room or your shed. Yes, we the interns that we have currently, I'm not sure, but I think one of them hasn't even been into the office yet. So So yeah, so we'll have to see with COVID what happens with that. We do plan to move into new offices soon, within the next sort of few months or so. Those are hopefully going to be ready, and all being well, some people will return to the office, but it's going to be a phased approach. So there is going to be some home working, and we try and accommodate people as best as possible with that. So if you have any special requests, then please just put them in your application, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone's asked, do you need to be doing a certain degree right now? Do you want me to answer that?
Yeah, I don't think, I would say like you wouldn't need, I'm assuming that's what you're going to say, but I wouldn't say you wouldn't need a specific degree type. I do management at Leeds at the minute. Max last year, he did marketing at Manchester, and Katie did maths. There's so many different types of people who come into this business, and I don't think there's any like specific skill set you would need to that you would gain from a degree type that you would need to succeed in this role.
Yeah, I do it on the applications. We're open to any degree discipline. Everyone from different degrees has something transferable that would be the perfect kind of fit for us. So we don't say it's a certain degree type. Okay. Just touching, this is another kind of question, but relates to it being based in Leeds. So will the job be remote? So I guess just to kind of reiterate what John was saying, was we do hope to be back in our office at some point this year. But we appreciate that working from home will probably most likely happen at some point, if not the start of the placement. So what we do is we'd kit everyone out with laptops, monitors, desks, chairs. You know, you can have the full works. We'll provide it just to make sure that you've got a really good at-home setup, because that's what's important. And we'll deliver really strong training on Zoom. There'll be lots of Zoom calls, Teams calls, etc. So it'll feel like you're in the office, and we'll try and give you as good an experience as we possibly can remotely until we can get you back in the office. And then when we are back in the office, it'll probably be maybe a few days in the office, a few days work from home. Just totally depends on kind of government guidelines and what's the safest thing. The business has been really good looking after everyone's welfare during this period, so that's going to be the main priority. So yeah. In terms of another question, someone has said, is the application process the same if you're an existing Sky Betting and Gaming employee? Fab question. Hello, SVGers. The application process will be the same. I guess the difference is you probably know some of the people in the process, but it's still a similar situation. I'm just going to have a look and see if we've got any more questions coming through. I don't think we've got any at the moment, but if anyone is thinking, oh, they haven't answered my question, I do apologise. I was just having a look and I don't think there is. But what you can do is you can get in touch with us if you do have any questions after this. So you might want to note this down, get your pens ready. Our inbox is careers@skybettingandgaming.com. And if you do have any questions, please just forward them onto there, and I'll be able to reply to you this week with any answers to those questions. Okay, so that's the end of the session. Again, thank you for joining us. I'm really pleased that you've joined us this afternoon, and the applications are open today. Get your application as soon as you can to avoid missing out, and hopefully we'll see and speak to you soon. Okay, guys, you want to say bye?
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Get those applications in. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.